told you it was love. They convinced you it was normal. They made you believe the problem was you. But somewhere beneath the confusion, the self-doubt, the endless explanations that never quite made sense, you knew something was wrong. This is where we stop pretending. This is where we examine what they never wanted you to see. The patterns that controlled you, the systems that protected them.
The hustle doesn't have to hurt. If performance pressure is making it hard to breathe, Grow Therapy helps you navigate stress, set boundaries, and actually feel like yourself again. Whether it's your first time in therapy or your 50th, Grow makes it easier to find a therapist who fits you, not the other way around. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Grow accepts over 100 insurance plans, including Medicaid in some states. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/start now to get started. That's growtherapy.com/start now. growtherapy.com/start now. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Hi, this is Pablo Torre from Pablo Torre Finds Out, and today I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile, because we spend a lot of time analyzing inefficiencies in sports, overvalued contracts, money tied up in the wrong places, and so on. But those inefficiencies aren't just on a roster. Sometimes they're in your own monthly expenses. Boost Mobile says switching to their $25 unlimited forever plan can unlock up to $600 in savings a year. That's $25 a month for unlimited data, talk, and text when you bring your own phone. If that money is trapped in a pricey phone bill, it might be worth a second look. Visit boostmobile.com to learn more. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers pay $25 per month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. Savings claim based on a January 2026 Boost Mobile survey of 1,000 Americans with single-line unlimited plans, comparing average annual payments of major carriers to 12 months on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
If you've ever felt trapped in a cycle where expressing vulnerability or questioning traditional male roles led to criticism or dismissal by family or partners, you're recognizing a classic dynamic at play in controlling family systems. Maybe you tried to talk about your feelings and got shut down with "men don't cry" or "stop being so sensitive." Maybe you questioned why you had to be the strong one all the time, and suddenly you were labeled weak or ungrateful. You're not imagining it. This is real, and it's designed to keep you locked in place. Welcome back to the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Podcast. I'm Lynn, your host. Today we're talking about how patriarchal systems trap men in rigid roles, especially those who become scapegoats for refusing to play along. We're going to look at how these expectations serve the people in power and why breaking free feels so threatening to the system that raised you. Let's start with what's actually happening here. Patriarchal family systems don't just oppress women. They create a prison for men too, just a different kind. These systems demand that men fit into very specific boxes. You must be dominant, but not too aggressive. Strong, but not emotional. Successful, but never admit you're struggling. The moment you step outside these narrow boundaries, you become a problem that needs to be fixed or silenced. Here's the thing about these rigid roles. They're not natural. They're manufactured to keep a system running smoothly, and that system benefits whoever's at the top. When you start questioning why you have to be emotionally shut down or why vulnerability is treated like a disease, you're threatening the foundation that keeps everyone else comfortable in their positions. The scapegoat in these systems often gets targeted precisely because they won't conform. You might have been the son who asked too many questions about why dad could rage, but you couldn't cry. You might have been the husband who wanted emotional intimacy in a marriage built on control dynamics. You might have been the one who said, "This doesn't feel right," when everyone else was committed to pretending everything was fine. What happens next is predictable. The person who needs to maintain power starts the campaign to put you back in your place. They'll use shame as their primary weapon. Real men don't act like this. You're being too sensitive. You're embarrassing the family. They'll recruit others to join in. Suddenly, you're not just wrong. You're the family problem. You're the one who needs to change, not the system that's suffocating you. This dynamic plays out in adult relationships too. You might find yourself with a partner who says they want a sensitive man, but then punishes you every time you show genuine emotion. They want you vulnerable enough to be controlled, but not so authentic that you might actually change or grow. The moment your growth threatens their position or comfort, they'll work to shut it down. You probably spent years believing something was wrong with you. You internalized their messages. Maybe you thought you were too much or not enough. Maybe you tried to squeeze yourself back into that box, thinking if you could just be the right kind of man, the criticism would stop. It doesn't stop because the problem was never you. The person who scapegoated you benefits enormously from keeping you trapped in these roles. If you stay emotionally shut down, they don't have to deal with their own feelings. If you stay focused on being strong and providing, they don't have to examine their own contributions or shortcomings. If you keep questioning yourself instead of questioning the system, they never have to change. Here's what they don't want you to understand. These rigid male roles serve the people who refuse to grow. They need you believing that emotional intelligence is weakness because their own emotional immaturity would be exposed by comparison. Looking for more support on your healing journey? Connect with us on social media where we share daily insights, tips, and encouragement. You can find us as Wake the Elephant on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. Follow us on all platforms to stay connected and be part of our growing community. And if you're ready to go deeper, I'd love to work with you one-on-one. Personalized coaching sessions are now available where we can focus specifically on your unique situation and help you move forward with clarity and confidence. Head over to movingforwardafterabuse.com/coaching to learn more and book your session. I'm here to support you every step of the way. They need you thinking that questioning authority is disrespectful because your questions might reveal their lack of real answers. The system works by convincing you that conformity equals love and acceptance. But what you got wasn't love. Love doesn't require you to amputate parts of your humanity. Love doesn't punish you for having feelings or asking valid questions. What you experienced was conditional acceptance based on your willingness to stay small and serve their needs. You weren't failing as a man when you wanted more emotional connection or when you questioned harmful patterns. You were actually being more fully human than the system could tolerate. The problem is that narcissistic family systems and relationships can't handle full human beings. They need everyone playing limited roles that keep the dysfunction stable. This isn't about blaming individual men who are also trapped in the system. Your father or partner might have been raised in the same prison. But understanding the larger framework helps you see that your struggle to break free isn't a personal failing. It's evidence that you recognized something was wrong with the whole setup. The people who targeted you for stepping out of line knew exactly what they were doing. They might not have consciously planned it, but they understood that keeping you confined served their interests. Your growth, your questions, your emotional authenticity threatened their comfortable position in a system that required everyone else to stay limited. You were never the problem. You were the person brave enough to say the emperor had no clothes. That takes courage, not weakness. The system that punished you for it was the real problem. So here's something to think about. In what ways have you noticed expectations placed on you to conform to a certain mold? And how has that impacted your ability to see yourself beyond the role assigned to you? This is Lynn, and this has been another episode of the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Podcast. I'll see you in the next one. Visit our website at movingforwardafterabuse.com for articles, resources, and more support on your recovery journey.
Hi, this is Pablo Torre from Pablo Torre Finds Out, and today I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile, because we spend a lot of time analyzing inefficiencies in sports, overvalued contracts, money tied up in the wrong places, and so on. But those inefficiencies aren't just on a roster. Sometimes they're in your own monthly expenses. Boost Mobile says switching to their $25 unlimited forever plan can unlock up to $600 in savings a year. That's $25 a month for unlimited data, talk, and text when you bring your own phone. If that money is trapped in a pricey phone bill, it might be worth a second look. Visit boostmobile.com to learn more. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers pay $25 per month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. Savings claim based on a January 2026 Boost Mobile survey of 1,000 Americans with single-line unlimited plans, comparing average annual payments of major carriers to 12 months on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
This work is hard, really hard. Questioning everything you were taught. Seeing systems that were invisible, sitting with truth that change how you see the world. It's exhausting and overwhelming sometimes. There's no timeline for this, no right way to process it. We've gone daily now because these conversations matter. Subscribe so new episodes land automatically when they drop.